Chris Fernandez. Welcome back, El Dorado Sports. We're here and we're live here in Houston. We're here at the studios, Coach.
Yep, we are back in Houston on the air doing sports again, Chris. And you know what? I was thinking about this the other day,
Tell me.
or actually today.
Right.
The last time we did this, the big three, baseball, basketball, and football, are going to be relevant in Houston.
Again.
Again.
Yes, sir.
Durant, can you believe it?
Wow, yes. Coach, this is something that I believe I had talked to you before. My brother John, he's outside watching the studio, out in the studio and the other studio. And he had mentioned that if we were to somehow obtain Durant, that we would automatically be, I guess you can say, hitch-ins or clue-ins into what is the finals, Coach.
Yeah, yes and no. Now, you know, Durant, I got to agree with John Lopez. He's going to miss 20 games. You know, I mean, that's just, every year that's what he does, whether he gets hurt a little bit or needs time off. And then, he doesn't play a full game too. So they're going to have to still carry a team that will make it, win without him.
But if I'm not mistaken, there's such a thing called as a bench. And the Rockets bench needs to come up big and move forward in these games where he's not present, he's not going to be playing. And, of course, I'm sure the Rockets staff will know ahead of time when Durant will be out and not playing or ill or something else or injured.
Well, the good news is they do have money to spend. They're planning on it. So they're not just Kevin Durant and that's it. So we'll see. They did make another. They got a big guy in the draft.
Okay.
7-footer. So they got a big guy now, and I think we still need a few more pieces.
No.
So,
and to me, I think that's great. That automatically puts us in the running for postseason. The only thing is that we gave up Brooks, and I believe we gave up, was it Green?
Green, yeah.
And to me, what is detrimental here is the big question mark. How is that going to affect us in the long run during the season? Are we going to have that chemistry that took so long to create? Are we going to create new chemistry with Durant? Will there be enough time to create the chemistry? And how far are we going to go with that? Because remember, we did that once with the Astros. We got Randy Johnson, and we played the Padres, and we're one and done. It was over.
Well, there's definitely more to this, like what you're saying, Chris, because Durant, he wasn't a winner when he's the main guy. He's the main guy here. He went away and made it happen with another team, that had a team that could win without him, and he just added to it. So where he's gone, Brooklyn, they didn't win. So wherever he's been, including, Oklahoma City.
So basically what you're saying is if you have a stand-up and backup lineup, he should be doing well. He's kind of like the buffer.
No, I'm not saying that. No, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. Don't get it wrong. I mean, Kevin Durant's great. You want Kevin Durant. He's not a buffer. He's the man. But it just hasn't worked in the past where he's been the main guy.
The main guy, the main superstar.
That's all I'm saying. Just past results when he's the main guy, it hasn't worked out.
So just remember, Coach.
This time it will.
Just remember.
I'm voting on it.
When you have one superstar, that doesn't make the team. That's why you have to have a team around that one person.
Well, he had a good year.
Is there going to be enough time? Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean,
to put a good team around here.
I hear your concern. He's a veteran. He's been around a long time. None of these guys. Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem unless there is turbulence, and that's what makes a championship team anyway. Whether it's football, baseball, that's the one thing I worry about with the Astros. Because, we lose Bregman. We lost Springer. We lost all our guys, Correa. These were leaders. And we kept on winning. 7 years, 8 years, crazy. Guess what? We're number 2 in baseball. I hope we can,
Yeah, and that's a good point, Coach. And to me, I brought it up to you before on the personal, is that one of two things, or three things. One, has baseball changed? 2, is that the talent's so great on the Astros? Or 3, is it everyone else that bad?
The thing, well, here's the Astros, I believe, they just believed in each other, Chris. They I mean, hey, come on, let's go, Altuve. And if it wasn't Altuve, it was, Bregman. If it wasn't Bregman, it was Court. It was one after the other. I mean, you had Murderer's Row coming up at the bat.
Wow.
And we do now, too. We got some live bats. I mean, I don't think it is what we had back when we won in 2017, and then what won us a championship in 2022. You know what that was?
Right.
Pitching.
Right.
We probably had the pitching. Oh my, the pitching lineup was off the hook.
I'm a big bullpen guy, so as long as we have kind of like the bench in basketball, as long as we have a full bullpen, we can go those long games, mini games, even in postseason. If we have a full staff in our bullpen, we should do great. We should do wonders with the pitchers that we have out there right now.
Well, the one thing that concerns me, and it hasn't, we gave away our closer that won us 2 championships.
Wow.
And a couple American League pennants, okay? And we got a new guy. And he hasn't proven that he can be the guy, he gives it up sometimes.
Right.
But, we're winning more games than we're losing, and we'll see. So it's still something, and that's where, like, giving up a guy like Bregman, his batting average is down, blah, blah, blah. The guy's a winner, man, And when you give up a winner, you want that guy in October. You want that guy in the World Series. I mean, you can't buy his credentials. You can't. It's so that hurt. I mean, to keep him would have been kept the glue together a little bit more. And I don't know if the chemistry.
On-base percentage by itself, not to mention his batting average, coach, is what helps out the team in the postseason. And we're going to definitely miss his bat this postseason when we get there, because I know we are getting there, coach. That's something that's, if you're a Houstonian, you pretty much can bet on.
We're back in first place, and so I'd agree with that, unless we have some injuries, and our big guy, broken hand, and broken hand is big. I mean, can he get back to hitting? Wow. How crucial the wrist speed and the hand is. So. Hopefully he gets it back. We're going to need that for sure.
Well, Coach, it's time for my story.
Yeah.
My Jose Altuve story.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever told you my Jose Altuve story.
I don't know.
Very funny. So I was in town. The town is Rosenberg, Texas, and I went to Schultz Barbecue. Okay, the best barbecue within that township, city, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Probably in Fort Bend County. Probably one of the best, I think. And I was sitting there right there where you get the food. Well, I wasn't, sorry. I was standing in the railing and trying to get my food in the tray and whatnot. And there was a little old lady and a couple of folks that she was sitting with. And I was getting my stuff. And at that time, I was wearing a shirt, kind of like a sports shirt. And I was wearing shorts and I was wearing some Dockers shoes. And all of a sudden, someone grabs my behind. Half my behind, half my back. I was like, what? And I turned around. It's this little old lady. She says, excuse me, she says, are you Jose Altuve? I said, no, I am not Jose Altuve.
You do have that look. Yeah, I could see that.
And so I tell her, she said, oh, you look so much like him. I'm sorry. Coach. And I was like, oh my God.
She actually grabbed your...
Well, she tapped on me. She tapped my behind.
You did got that look, I guess.
And I had my baseball cap on.
Yeah.
So
you got to start eating. You got to get some more weight on you, Chris.
It could have been that. We're about the same height and build and so whatnot.
Yeah.
So I understood her. I didn't get upset or anything. I wanted her to sign an autograph, but I was like, nah, I couldn't do that. Make us feel.
Chris, we were supposed to talk Gold Cup and.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk.
And we were supposed to start that off, but I was the bad guy here. I hedged right into basketball. That's the latest news.
Right.
With Durant, but why don't you let them know about Gold Cup and what's going on here?
Well, Coach, as you well know, the Gold Cup is moving into the quarterfinals. We have 8 teams, okay?
Yeah.
8 teams moving into the quarterfinals, and basically it'll be on 28th and 29th, which is this Saturday, Sunday. You're looking at Glendale, Arizona. I think it's Glendale, Arizona. And you're looking at Minnesota hosting those two games. And you're looking at something where those 2 dates, you're hosting those 2 dates. You're looking at something that the winner there is going to play in the semifinals. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So in the semifinals, after you have a group of 8, you'll have a group of 4. And then, of course, you go to the final. Having played 4, you will have 2 teams. And in those 8 teams right now, okay, you have Mexico, USA, Canada, you have Panama, Honduras, you have, I believe it's Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken.
And you say we're better than
And
all
Costa
these?
Rica.
We're better than all
Well,
these teams.
you have Canada, US, and Mexico. For sure, those 3 are going to be in the semifinals. Okay? Plus, I believe Costa Rica. I don't believe that Honduras is going to be there, although they played a great role so far in Gold Cup. El Salvador is out. That was very disappointing. I do want to comment that because of our administration and everything that's been going on with deportations and ICE and whatnot, that Saturday game last week,
Oh, yeah.
seats were almost empty here at Shell Energy.
Really?
You saw a lot of seats were empty. When
Wow.
Honduras plays El Salvador, there's not one seat remaining, Coach.
Right.
I know because I've been there several years.
You know, Tony
Honduras
brought
plays El
Honduras, the
Salvador.
Honduras team here, right?
Right, I believe it was that.
Yeah,
last
Honduras
year,
and
last time I went.
Guatemala. Just an exhibition match. My
Right.
guy I grew up in high school and grew up with, elementary school. Him and a friend, they get the soccer teams and they do exhibitions. They raise money and yeah, so he brought them here. And
Yeah, and very basically, Coach, everyone's very excited about Gold Cup because it's the precursor to the FIFA Cup, which is next year. You know,
Okay.
around this time, same time.
Gold Cup is big.
Yes, it's very
Yeah,
big.
very big.
Basically, it's a tell sign of who the best of the best
For
in
the
this
Olympics.
region in North America.
Right.
No, for the World Cup.
To get you on. Oh, for the World
the
Cup.
World Cup,
Sorry.
yes.
Yeah.
The Olympics is shortly after the World Cup. So we're looking at the precursor right now of who's hot, who's not in Central South America, in the North American continent.
My question:
Sure.
how good is Mexico right now?
Right
What's
now,
going
they-
on with Mexico?
right
are
now,
are they
they-
better
they-
than us?
Right now they tied with Costa Rica. The last minute, which was the 45th minute of the game, if you can believe this one,
Yeah.
they scored what was in the 45th minute, which means at the very end of the game. Which usually they scored in the 45th minute.
Mm.
They scored, I believe it was Jimenez. They scored a reverse bicycle kick, or they call it
Really?
a scissor kick.
Yeah, scissor can reverse. I
Right.
know. Yeah. I
And-
do them all the time.
Scored it. Oh yeah, I know that, Coach. You told me that.
Yeah.
I've seen.
In
all your-
volleyball, I
I
do.
know
it.
all your accolades. Okay, so then
Not.
yeah, so then the refs took it away and said it was offsides or something of that nature. So then Mexico did not win. They tied with Costa Rica. But because of the aggregates and whatnot, 7 points were awarded to each. They all finished with 7 points. So now the extra games, which are the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, it's what's next. So they both qualified. Okay? United
Okay.
States, Costa Rica, second place, and there you go. So same with the other brackets. And I was just thrown a little bit. But Mexico, your original question, how good are they doing? How good are they? I believe they're very good. I believe that they're the team to beat, along with Costa Rica, I believe.
How does America? How does the United States soccer team now? They've improved it. They got a new coach. What?
Well, I think you're going to see in the brackets, you're going to see Canada and the U.S. face off.
Yeah.
And of course, in geopolitics, as we are right now, you know, we had the big fight with, you know, the United States, Trump, and Canada with the tariffs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's going to affect
That
our
affects
folks.
sports. Wait a
Yes,
minute.
it does.
Politics and sports are going. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not
But it
supposed to happen,
does.
but
They're
it
mad
does.
with us.
It does. And of course, I think we have a few travel bans that Trump has imposed. So we'll see how long those are
Really?
going to be.
Mm.
Yes, and I know that I did an interview, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2017 at what was Houston Dynamo Stadium, which now is, you know, Shell Energy,
Mm-hmm.
on the fact that Trump had imposed travel bans to Arab companies. Arab countries. And so that was a big deal. and I was interviewed by many worldwide media on that night. My posts are in my Facebook on those interviews, and of course, a lot got thumbs up from a lot of the Dynamo owners and presidents. So it's something that's very, very detrimental to next season.
So
all these bans and tariffs, very detrimental next season. There may be talk of perhaps not having the U.S. as one of our host sponsors for FIFA World Cup, but that's something that may or may not be true rumor or just a rumor. We're going to find that out as the months come in. Coach, we're going to take a little break in a few minutes. I think it's just about that time. But I wanted
Can you
to
tell them
remind
about, let's talk about Houston Media Source and
Sure.
VEDA and Michael and what's going on.
We're here, Houston Media Source here in Houston, and apparently they took over about 10 months ago, and so they're reestablishing themselves here in the city of Houston in the area of navigation, here in Navigation 45, Wayside, and right now we're
What's
working with
downtown there under the building? What was that?
is
The
correct.
Justice Building? What building was that?
That one I do not know.
Yeah, but
I went a few times, had shows there, but we're housed here now. So this is where we're at. We're here, John.
yes, sir.
We're talking Texans, man. You ready?
Texans, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, we can watch football again, Chris. There was a year or two there. I don't think we got together for one game, and usually we sit and we watch every game back, when we had a team. But it's back, it's back. So
Let's start with the big question, Coach.
yes,
What did you think at the end of the season, Jalen Hurts, Eagles versus Chiefs?
they
What did you think?
dominated. They dominated. It's all defense. That's how the Chiefs were beaten in the 2 Super Bowls. They got beat there. The defense just swarming him. He couldn't get off the ball, and they were overpowering. We didn't expect that. Who expected that?
Right.
So
Right. So all the questions and rumors that there was a bot game and that you don't buy into
no,
that. You don't.
no,
It was a sham. You don't buy into any of that,
Can a
Coach?
referee? You want my honor? I mean, sports, basketball, horrible. Oh, where you get me started here? Basketball, boxing. We know the history on that. Baseball, I don't know. Tennis. I know my buddy Jeff Tarango. They do some gambling, they do some betting on tennis matches. And that's not a good thing because you know who's hurt, who's not hurt. So
Right,
if you're on the in on that and you're betting on it, it could be sticky. Baseball. I mean, cheat. The Astros are cheaters. Everybody's a cheater. They're all cheating. We were the scapegoat on that. Sorry, everybody. 10, 15 years from now, you'll find that out. I said that then, I'll say it now.
Right.
The Yankees were cheating. The Dodgers were cheating. They all cheat. Baseball cheats, but they didn't want to come out and say, hey, baseball's a cheating sport. Because then it would be ruined.
Because it surprises me and it upsets me a little bit because, we're taught, do as I say, not as I do. And that's kind of what you're looking at. And we as children, as kiddos when growing up, all the hard work, the ethic, the play hard, do your best, the good sportsmanship, all that goes out the window.
Well, there's money,
Astros.
money involved. Big money
Right.
and money talks and
something walks. But
something
yes,
walks, yeah.
exactly. But to me, it's I'm like I know you heard me say this before. To me, the only real athlete is no longer on this earth. He is no longer walking this earth. And that, my friends, if you go to my Facebook, you will see him.
all right.
Who is it, Coach? Tell me.
What's that?
The only real athlete.
Chris Fernandez.
No. Jim Thorpe.
Jim Thorpe.
Jim
Oh.
Thorpe. I always wanted.
Johnny Weissmiller. No, you know
I-
who it is? I know
no.
who it is. It's that Kardashian guy.
No. Jim Thorpe, Coach. I wanted to emulate him when I was a kid. I mean, he was the best in the decathlon in baseball and football.
Jim
He
Thorpe,
was the
yeah.
best
I mean,
in
he did everything.
baseball.
He played baseball.
Everyone talks
football.
about his batting average.
American Indian.
He was American Indian. That is correct.
Yep.
And they talk about,
Red
Ted
Grange.
Williams had the best batting average. When really that summer, that that spring, it was actually Jim Thorpe that had the
And
best.
you were saying something about Ted Williams being Mexican?
Ted Williams, yes. On my, I believe it was my
Newsflash.
18th year, front page. This is something that
Eldorado Sports?
Eldorado Sports is something that was already in the news, but it was very, like everything else, buried, and if you will. And the facts are, and I printed in the newspaper front page and a story on the inside, that Ted Williams' mother is or was Mexican, and his father, of course, was American.
Mm-hmm.
So he believed that if he didn't use Ted Williams, the last name Williams, American, he would have had a very, very rough time in baseball
Would have been a little tougher.
at that time.
Probably a smart move, yeah.
Yeah, very
No
smart
doubt.
move.
Yeah.
But all this came out. Bob Costas did a special on cable TV at that time, Comcast or whatever.
So this is known fact. This is not.
It's
yeah.
a known fact,
This
but
is,
not too many people know it. They don't publicize it.
They haven't done a documentary on it?
That's
There you
what
go.
it was supposedly, an investigative documentary. Bob Costas, but Coach, thing is, it's like everything else. It's Latino Hispanic, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't publicize and say, "Oh, look, let's celebrate it. Ted Williams is Mexican." And the bad and sad thing about it is that they spoke to his daughters, and of course they were all, "Oh yeah," but then they spoke to the other side, which is the Latino side, the Hispanic, Mexican side, and they spoke about how he was, and he was very ashamed of being Mexican, and he was very ashamed of having a mother that was Mexican. He never saw his mother his rookie year in baseball. He didn't want to see his family. Matter of fact, he ignored his family opening day
Really?
baseball. Yes.
Wow, he's like Aaron Rodgers.
Mm.
He loses his family.
Well, I don't know
Chris,
if it was just like that.
Something serious here.
Mm-hmm.
It's raining outside. You know
Okay,
what? I'm
why?
going to start building the ark.
What? Well, it's funny you
I
mentioned
think
the
we
art,
need
Coach.
to.
I have a 501c, Coach. A 501c is not for profit. It's called ARC.
It is coming down.
It's called ARC.
Yeah,
501c. Yes.
All right.
Anybody-
Can you put 2 people in it or more?
Nope. No, you can't.
No
Very
good
basically,
then.
what we do is we help. We donate food. We donate clothes
Mm.
to damaged areas, people in their lives. And you can call me at 346-464-1525 to donate. And right now, Coach, I'm also creating what is a statue. I've contracted a sculptor, and the sculptor is
Yeah.
he's creating.
I've met this guy.
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
You met him last weekend on the roof.
Seems
Matter of
very talented. Yeah, on the
Great
roof.
talent,
What
yeah.
a view that place.
Alan Rivera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the name of that place?
Rooftop.
Rooftop?
Inn, something.
You ought to go there, people. Houston, you want a nice place. They got good food downstairs. You go upstairs, and it's just like, it's a beautiful place to enjoy an afternoon or a late evening. The sun going down. You got a view of the city.
I'll tell you one thing. It's a great thing for sports, and if you want to shoot sports sections there, you can. And if you want to shoot, like a Zumba class up there is perfect.
Zumba,
Yoga.
yeah, they had a Zumba
Yes.
class. I
For-
think I ought to do my tennis class.
For those
up there.
ladies out there that
Zumba
love
tennis.
Zumba and love yoga,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's
Matter of fact,
nice.
Coach, I think you said you wanted to have something like a salsa class,
Yeah.
right? For tennis, salsa class
Yeah,
for tennis.
salsa. No, Zumba. Zumba class for tennis.
Just showing folks how to do tennis.
It's movement. It's just
Movement,
tennis
yes,
movement.
correct.
Yeah, the correct movement.
Yeah, that would be
You
great.
got cardio tennis.
Mhm.
USDA put a lot of money into it, but I have a system. I think I'm gonna. Well, I've been talking with Tennis Express for years now, but I think we'll make it happen. My knee gets a little better here. I got to do the class.
Right.
Tennis, aerobic, footwork, tennis training. And it's like a Zumba class. We'll do it to music. Chris knows the music. I just got to put it to music. And you learn how to move the right way on the tennis court. It'll make you a better tennis player. You'll have fun. You get a workout. And if you don't play tennis, if you ever do, you might know how. And I have it structured where it's beginner, intermediate, advanced, maybe even a professional. So you really got to go through it. But just basic movements that people don't do on the tennis court.
Now those movements help tennis players how to navigate on the court. Is
Of
that correct?
course, it's all footwork, and a lot of people, Chris, well, this year, I'm putting out a book, real close, working with Stellar Book Publishing, and it's close. In fact, I need to call them back here. Tennis, American tennis, 2025, 26. But really, Perry came up with a good idea the other day. He said, don't put a date on it, because the stuff that I talk about in this book, they're already talking bestseller. It's going to be going on for 4 or 5 years. It's not limited to like this year. And it's problems with American tennis and answers. I have answers to it. Pickleball is a problem.
Right.
People not being able to play tennis is a problem. People that train in America the girls can't get onto a college tennis team, and they played their whole life because the people from South America and Europe are better than them, and they get the college scholarships.
That is correct.
It's a problem.
That is correct.
USTA, did a great thing with pickleball. It's good, making a lot of money, but they sold out tennis. Sorry,
Yeah, we
they
talked
need to
about
get
that.
it back. They need to get it back. There's a way to get it back.
We
they have
talked
to-
about the millions of dollars that went to Wilson tennis balls and whatnot. Instead of going to tennis, putting the money back in tennis and creating our own homegrown champions, we put it into pickleball sports.
Pickleball, yeah.
How do you
And,
feel
and
about
tennis
that,
is
Coach?
at its, if anybody watched the French Open, I mean, these guys, Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner, they make the tennis court look like a table tennis. They're running around on it, hitting balls. I saw it maybe 4 years ago, when Sinner was coming up, had no idea he'd be as, I didn't think, but not that I watched him a whole lot, but definitely number one in the world with Carlos. Carlos, I mean, he has his day. Sinner, remember, before he got into the French Open, buddy, he had 3 months off, so he wasn't exactly tournament tough. It takes a while when you're on the tour and you're playing like that. There's a tournament ready, so I don't think he was totally on his game so much. Not that I'm taking anything from Carlos. What an athlete! This guy, I mean, and everybody from Patrick McEnroe. He made a statement, and I like that. He says, they played for over 5 hours, no breaks, no medical calls,
Wow.
tennis, no complaining.
Wow.
Both those guys going at it. And if you guys got to go to YouTube and watch, and they just show you the points. I've watched tennis my whole life. I'm, me, Patrick McEnroe, the guys that called the game. It's off the hook, guys.
I had a question,
It's
Coach.
crazy. So tennis should be going big right now.
I have a question. How would folks respond to the things that are in your book? And what I mean by that is, how would they respond to how do we make tennis better? What you're explaining in your book is something that we should have done. We haven't done it. How are we going to do it?
You want me to give you all the answers right now? I can't do that. That's
What
spoil
do
my
you-
book.
what do you
I
think?
have the answers.
You have to.
We have the answers. Not only that, but in the book, I've talked to a lot of people. I'm still talking to. That's the main thing I want to. It's not the problems that I think that are there. The other pros have brought it up, and the USTA has made some mistakes, and other people are calling them out on it. So other pros and other people in high positions, USTA and USPTA, know this also, and I'm getting their opinion on the problems, and they know also that they need to be fixed. So I'm getting their opinions also is in the book, not just Sean Foster. I have my own, but I'm collecting their opinions and ideas also on the problems and the fixes for it. So it's not only a book that's talking about the problems, but it's talking about here's how we fix it also.
This is how we fix it.
Or here's a way in, right? But there are some major problems. Gosh, and that's when watch my tennis show. We're gonna get into it. They want me to start. I'll talk every week or so, once a week, maybe twice a week. I'm not sure, but I'll go through each chapter with everybody, and we'll talk. And I'll have some guests on. Maybe we'll Zoom them in
Is it on YouTube, Coach?
and talk to people. YouTube. Yep, John Foster Talking Tennis. back on the air. Go to, you can check out John Foster Tennis on YouTube, of course, Instagram, Facebook, and I'm covering stuff like that all the time.
So of course, everyone who's covering, tennis and is covering, going to YouTube, they're gonna find a lot of information on you. Is your website on there, and how can they?
My website's on there. It has to be. There's not very much on my website right now, but we're gonna rebrand, and you'll see a lot more of what my past and what I did. Who I am. It doesn't really show who I am. I think, Chris, I was talking with my student like just the other day on this, that the last 20 years since, back when Federer was coming out, I was at River Oaks. I got to know the Bryan brothers. I got, Todd Martin, you name it, Jeff Tarango. I knew Andy from the Everett family. These are all retired guys right now. If I show everybody I'm hanging out with all these pros, nobody will know who they are almost, James Blake. So anyhow, there's a problem with
tennis. I've covered a lot of folks who say they were coaches, and it's very, very, telling when you see one that actually knows what they're saying. Now, it's very interesting that when I first met Coach, and this is for everyone who's out there, okay, it's very simple for two things. When you see an athlete, you know he's an athlete. Number two, when you see a coach, you're not sure if he's a coach or a player or athlete. Okay, an athlete usually will show you his muscles, his form, what kind of athlete he is. You'll be able to tell by just looking at his physique. So when I met Coach, he was standing watching TV in a Mexican restaurant, Chewy's Mexican restaurant. And so I was in the bar drinking my iced tea because I don't drink, folks. And if you drink, don't drive.
I drink for him.
Yeah, okay. So then what happened was I was looking at this guy, and I was like, he's either a tennis coach or a tennis player. And I said, he's a swimmer or a swimming coach. So then I was like, let me go ask this guy. So I tapped him on the shoulder. He goes, hello? Yes? Hi. And we're watching the Carolina championship. I think it was the Panthers were playing
Playoffs?
at that time. Yes. Yeah. Cam Newton at that time. And so I clicked on his shoulder. I said, excuse me, you're a coach, right? Yeah. How did you know? So, folks, the bread, the truth, everything you want to know, there's a saying, is in the pudding. But in this case, it's in the person who you're talking to. And when I decided to interview Coach. I am a journalist, a newspaper, a magazine. I've done this for over 20 years. And I've interviewed coaches, players, all kinds of coaches, all kinds of players. And from knowing every kind of player I've seen and knowing tennis somewhat and looking at different coaching, I certified that his coaching within 5 minutes will change your coaching career within 5 minutes. It is that simple. I've verified it. There's no more truth than what the eye can see. And I've seen things that most people won't believe coming out of this gentleman here. And I'm not saying it because I've known him for the last 6 to 8 years, but because I've seen him make very, very good to great players just by speaking with them. And you'll be amazed at his coaching once you've attained him. Michael, this is the truth that I would not tell anyone else. I've covered football, baseball, soccer, wrestling, boxing, also the La Jolla boxing, everything that you might want to cover, players, athletes, I've covered and interviewed. And I can tell you, this guy is a real thing as far as coaching and methodology in tennis. He has it. He has the it factor if you're looking for a coach.
Yeah, that's one thing. Thank you, Chris.